What's up, it's Richie here with Static Fine Football. Alright, this is for week 13, the final full regular season week of college football. These are for the Black Friday games only. I'll do my Saturday picks later. I did my other videos for Tuesday and Thursday, so let's just start with the Friday picks. A lot of interesting games, a lot of teams trying to get bowl eligibility. Starting with TCU and Iowa State. TCU's 5-6, trying to get to a bowl game. They beat Kansas on a last-second field goal, 31-28. Max Duggan, 166, an interception, ran for 74 yards and a touchdown. Kendra Miller ran for 112 and a touchdown. Darius Davis, 6 catches, 103. They ran for 326 yards. Iowa State kept it close against Oklahoma, but they lost 28-21. The running back for Iowa State, though, Breece Hall, he did tie an FBS record, his 23rd straight game with a rushing touchdown. I think he'll break it and get one again in this game. Brock Purdy, though, passed for 281, a touchdown on pick. Charlie Kohler, 12 catches, 152 and a touchdown. They turned over 3 times in that game. Defensively, they had 4 sacks, and Craig McDonald had 10 tackles. I think this will be an interesting game. TCU's kind of been up and down, by their record of 5-6. Iowa State, they've been kind of sliding. They came into this year really high, maybe winning the Big 12. I think they lost a little bit of that confidence. This will be close, but I'm going to give the edge to TCU. Like I said, the motivation factor, they want to get to a bowl. Iowa State's already bowl eligible. I think TCU actually wins a close game. All right, Washington State and Washington, the Apple Cup, big rivalry game. This is pretty big for Washington State because since Oregon lost, Washington State has a chance to play in the Pac-12 title game. They'd have to win and have some other losses happen, but they have a chance. They destroyed Arizona last week, 44-18. Jaden Dillard, 259, 4 touchdown passes. Max Borghi ran for 139 and 2 touchdowns. Calvin Jackson, 4 catches, 133, 2 touchdowns. Defensively, at a safety, Jahad Woods, 12 tackles, 1.5 tackles for loss, and 1 pass defense. Washington, they were eliminated from bowl eligibility by losing 20-17 to Colorado. Dylan Morris, 387, 2 touchdowns, 2 picks. They turned over 4 times. They only allowed 183 total yards, but they turned over the 4 times, and that's what cost them. This will be, I think, a pretty close game. It's a rivalry game. It's the Apple Cup, but I think in the end, I think Washington State is just the better overall team and should be able to win that one. All right, Colorado and Utah. Colorado, they beat Washington 20-17. Brandon Lewis, 112 passing, 30 rushing yards, and 1 rushing touchdown. They had a fumble return for a touchdown, which helped them win that game. Utah had a huge win against Oregon. They won 38-7. Cam Rising passed for 178 and a rushing touchdown. Brent Keithy, 5 catches, 118, and they had a punt returns for a touchdown. I think this is all Utah. Utah is probably the best team in the Pac-12, and I think they killed Colorado. All right, Boise State and San Diego State. This is actually a huge game for the Mountain West. Boise State has a shot to play in the Mountain West Championship game. They'd have to win and have. I think they just have to win, but the other stuff might have to happen. But again, they have a shot. They did what they wanted against New Mexico, 37-0. Hank Bachmeyer, 146, 1 touchdown, a pick. George Holani ran for 114. Khalil Shakir had 7 catches, 116, and a touchdown, put him over 1,000 yards receiving. Defensively, they only allowed 101 total yards and had 2 blocked punt returns for a touchdown and had 4 sacks. San Diego State, they beat UNLV 28-20. Lucas Johnson, 192, 3 touchdown passes and a pick. Defensively, had an interception return for a touchdown, and Patrick McMorris had 12 tackles and 1 pass defense. Now, San Diego State, they're one of the best teams in the country. They are ranked. They only have 1 loss. I'm giving this edge to Boise State. Boise State, I think they've won 4 games in a row. They're kind of looking like the Boise State of old. Not quite offensively, but their defense is strong. And they do have enough of an offense. Their San Diego State is one of the best defenses in the country. They're starting to get a little bit of running game. This will be an interesting game. This is going to be a really close game. This is going to go down to the wire. But I'm going to give the edge to Boise State in the upset, as it were, in that game. All right, Kansas State and Texas. Kansas State, they lost 20-10 to Baylor. Skylar Thompson passed for 158. Deuce Vaughn ran for 120 and a touchdown. Ross Elder, 10 tackles and a half tackle for a loss. Texas, they lost to West Virginia. They are eliminated from a bowl game. They lost 31-23. Hudson Card, 123 passing, a touchdown. Keelan Robinson ran for 111 and a touchdown. This is kind of an interesting game. We'll see how motivated Texas is. Texas is more talented, but that hasn't meant anything to them in the past few games. I'm kind of actually still leaning towards Texas. Kansas State's a strong team. They played Baylor strong in that one. And I'll go with Kansas State. I'll have them winning that one. All right, Eastern Michigan and Central Michigan. Eastern Michigan beat Western Michigan last week 22-21. Ben Bryant 156 passing. Jawan Hamilton 179 rushing. Terry Myrick 11 tackles. Jose Ramirez 10 tackles, 1 sack, and a tackle for loss. And shout out to the kicker Chad Ryland, 5 of 5 on field goals, which allowed them to have that 1-point win. Central Michigan, they beat Ball State 37-17. Daniel Richardson, 283 passing, 2 touchdowns, 2 picks. Lou Nichols ran for 219 and 3 touchdowns. Khalil Pimpleton, 7 catches, 144 and a touchdown. That had 567 yards of offense. I think this could be a pretty high scoring game, but Central Michigan, their offense has been rolling. Lou Nichols, you don't know who that is, look out for him. He's a running back. He ran for 219 and 3 touchdowns in the last game, and the game before that he ran for 215 and 4 touchdowns. One of the best running backs. He's a freshman, already set a freshman record for running at Central Michigan. I think Central Michigan will win. Ohio and Bowling Green. Ohio lost 35-23 to Toledo. Curtis Rourke, 233 and a touchdown. Bowling Green got killed by Miami of Ohio, 34-7. Matt McDonald only 13-28 for 108 yards. Cy Dabney defensively had 10 tackles, a sack, and a tackle for loss. I think Ohio will win. They're better than their record shows. They're only 3-8. Both teams are 3-8, but Ohio looks better. They could have a few more wins. I think they'll be a pretty good team in the MAC next year, and I think it starts here with this end of season win against Bowling Green. All right, Utah State and New Mexico. Utah State, they got killed by Wyoming 44-17. Logan Bonner was only 19 of 40 for 181 and 2 touchdowns. Calvin Taylor ran for 109. They turned it over 3 times. Justin Rice 10 tackles and a tackle and a half for loss. Hunter Reynolds 10 tackles. New Mexico, they got blanked by Boise State 37-0, only 101 total yards. This isn't going to be close. Utah State is going to destroy New Mexico. New Mexico State, though, unfortunately, they lost that one. It could end up costing them the Mountain West. They have to win and hope Boise and I think Air Force, and at least Boise lose to get in, so they still have a shot to get into the Mountain West championship game. But at this particular game, I don't think New Mexico has a chance. Utah State's going to win big. Iowa and Nebraska, pretty big for Iowa. They can get into the Big Ten championship game. Iowa, they beat Illinois 33-23. Alex Padilla was terrible, 6 of 17, 83 yards and a pick. The rest of the team was great. Tyler Goodson ran for 132. They had a kick return for a touchdown and an interception return for a touchdown. Nebraska, they lost a close game with Wisconsin, 35-28. Adrian Martinez, 351 passing, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions, and ran for 23 yards and a touchdown. Austin Allen, 7 catches, 143, and Samari Torrey, 7 catches, 113 and a touchdown. Nebraska's looked pretty good on offense. They'll be strength against strength. Iowa's defense is one of the best in the country. And Iowa's really motivated. Like I said, they could potentially get to the Big Ten championship game. I believe they'd have to win and have Wisconsin lose their game. But for this game, I'm going to say Iowa wins. But I think it'll be a little bit closer than what a lot of people were thinking. All right, UTEP and UAB. UTEP, they beat Rice 38-28. Gavin Hardison, 366, 2 touchdowns and a pick. Ronald Watt ran for 119. Jacob Cowling, 11 catches, 170 yards and a touchdown. UAB, they lost a heartbreaker at the last second. Literally, UTSA scored a touchdown with 3 seconds left to lose, and UAB lost 34-31. Cost them a chance for the CUSA championship game. Dylan Hopkins passed for 254, 2 touchdowns, ran for 36 yards and a touchdown. Dwayne McBride ran for 144. Trey Shropshire, 3 catches, 132 touchdowns. They had 13 penalties, which hurt them in that one. And defensively had 5 sacks. This will be a good game. Both teams have strong defenses. UTEP both have pretty good running games, decent quarterbacks, but I'll give the edge here to UAB. It really could go either way, but UAB is a little more experienced in these kind of big games. They've been in a CUSA championship game, I think, the last like three or 4 years in a row. I think they'll win this one. All right, Cincinnati and East Carolina, potential upset here. Cincinnati's proved me wrong. They destroyed SMU 48-14. Desmond Ridder, 274 passing, 3 touchdowns, plus 46 rushing yards and a touchdown. Plus, he caught a 5-yard touchdown pass. Trey Tucker, 7 catches, 114. They had 544 total yards and held SMU to only 199 total yards. SMU is one of the best offenses in the country, held them below 200 yards. ECU had a really cool win against Navy, lasting a field goal, 38-35. Holt Nailers, 405 passing, 3 touchdowns, plus 48 rushing. Tyler Snead, 5 catches, 137, 2 touchdowns. They had 2 touchdowns. They had 563 total yards. Now, ECU has the quarterback. They have the offense. They could potentially keep up with Cincinnati. But after seeing what Cincinnati did against SMU, I'll say upset alert a little bit, but I'll go with Cincinnati here. It helps that they do have to travel to Greenville, to North Carolina, but I'll say Cincinnati will still win. Missouri and Arkansas. Missouri, they got bowl eligible against Florida in overtime. They went for 2-point conversion to win, and they won 24-23. Connor Bazelak 165 passing and a touchdown. Tyler Beatty ran for 146 and a touchdown. Arkansas, they lost a close game to Alabama 42-35. KJ Jefferson 326, 3 touchdown passes. Traylon Burks 8 catches, 179 and 2 touchdowns. Defensively 4 sacks, and Grant Morgan had 11 tackles. Tyler Beatty, one of the best running backs in the SEC at Missouri. It was enough to beat Florida. I don't think it'll be quite enough to beat Arkansas. Arkansas's offense is pretty good, and I'm going to go with Arkansas winning. All right, USF, the war on I-4. USF and UCF. USF got killed by Tulane 45-14. Tim McClain 132 and 1 interception. USF did what they wanted against UConn 49-17. Mikey King 208 passing, 2 touchdowns, and ran for 33 yards and 1 rushing touchdown. Johnny Richardson ran for 147 and a touchdown. Brandon Johnson 7 catches, 125 and a touchdown. He had 537 total yards. Defensively had 5 sacks, 3 turnovers, and Tatum Bethune had 14 tackles, a half sack, and 1.5 tackles for loss. Now, USF's been up and down. They actually could very well beat UCF. UCF sort of has been up and down, but I do think UCF in the end will end up winning this game. I think it might be closer than what a lot of people assume it will be. It's a rivalry game, but I think UCF will end up on the winning note here. All right, Coastal Carolina and South Alabama. Coastal Carolina, they beat Texas State 35-21. Grayson McCall 319, 5 touchdown passes, and ran for 53 yards. Javon Haley 10 catches, 101 and a touchdown. Silas Kelly 11 tackles and a half tackle for loss. South Alabama, they got destroyed by Tennessee 60-14. Desmond Charter 216 and 2 touchdowns. Jalen Tolbert 7 catches, 143 and a touchdown. Possible upset here. South Alabama's 5-6. They're trying to get bowl eligibility, but I can't quite see it happening here. I think Coastal Carolina wins that game. All right, UNLV and Air Force, big game for Air Force. UNLV, they lost a close game to San Diego State, 28-20. Justin Rogers, 305, 2 touchdowns and a pick. Steve Jenkins, 5 catches, 176. Jacoby Windman, 12 tackles, 3 sacks, and 3 tackles for loss. Air Force, they beat Nevada in a thrilling game, 3 overtimes, 41-39. DeAndre Hughes ran for 221 and 2 touchdowns. Brad Roberts ran for 117 and a touchdown. They ran for 476 yards and had 8 sacks defensively. UNLV has played a lot of these really good teams close. They played San Diego State close. They played Fresno State close. They played a few other teams really close. They probably will play Air Force close, but Air Force has a shot to potentially win or get into the Mountain West Championship game. I think they would have to win and have Boise State lose. I believe that's how it would have to happen, and I think Air Force should be able to win, but it will be a close game. And the final, the final game of, or one of the last games, one of the later games of Black Friday night will be North Carolina and North Carolina State. This is going to be a high-scoring game. North Carolina, they beat Wofford 34-14. Sam Howell didn't play. He should play this week. But Jacoby Criswell started 125 passing and 66 rushing yards and a touchdown. Drake May came in at pass for 89 yards and a touchdown and ran for 38 yards. And they had 305 rushing yards and 519 total yards. NC State, they beat Syracuse 41-17. Devin Leary 303 passing, 2 touchdowns. Defensively had 5 sacks, a pick 6, and a kick return in that game. I think Sam Howell should be back. This is going to go back and forth. Sam Howell and Devin Leary, the quarterback for NC State, 2 of the best in the country. I'm kind of, I'm going to give NC State the edge here. Sam Howell can do everything against them, but I think NC State's defense might be able to slow them down just enough. But I do think it'll be pretty high scoring. Could be like 49-42. But I'm going to go with NC State winning that game there. All right, and those are the games for Black Friday. Check out my Saturday picks and my other picks later. Peace.